What's good, YouTube? IrishEngine95 here, and I've got a special guest with us here today. I've got the runner of the entire Gambit series. Care to introduce yourself, boss?
Hey, how you guys doing tonight? Name is Drifter.
So I've decided to add something else to the channel, which is, going to be, I'm going to start covering the This Week at Bungie's on Thursdays. It's just going to be me, and if I can get someone else to do it with me, it's all that matters. So This Week at Bungie is both interesting but lackluster at the same time. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, it's interesting the fact of what they are going to work with on PvP, but the PvE side is kind of lacking, of course.
As we've learned, it's one or the other, right?
Yes, it is.
Alright, so main things that they've discussed on the TWAB this week. We've got, next week we're going to the Emerald Coast in Gambit Prime, so that should be interesting, I guess. We'll know all
It'll be nice.
Yeah, it'll be nice. We also got Invitations of the Nine coming back on tomorrow. Now, as they stated, do not expect a cutscene every single week, y'all. But there will be more. So,
I mean, we need to learn more about the Rock and why he's working with the Nine. So,
well, if one of the lines that was said in the Invitation of the Nine quest by Drifter was, the haul was too good a deal to pass up. So, I do want to know what this deal is. And if you did miss last week's Invitation of the Nine, you'll start at week 1 tomorrow instead of week 2. So, if you miss a week, it's okay, you can still catch up. Though I'd avoid YouTube for spoilers.
yes, avoid it all the way.
Other things coming this week, we got the Iron Banner coming. Whoa.
We have some big changes coming for Iron Banner coming too, though.
Yeah, the changes are nice, I'll give it that. For those of you who are not 700 power, you can gain a consumable called the Wolf's Favor that can drop from your daily heroic story mission, Vanguard Strikes, the Nightfall, Flashpoints, Gambit for Forsaken only players, and the weekly milestone for Ikora and Hawthorne. The Wolf's Favor is going to be, you can increase your power by 100 temporarily for 30 minutes, but to a cap of 700. So for someone like myself or Drifter soon enough, that's not going to really matter to us. Would you agree?
No, and technically you're only getting 7 opportunities a week for 30 minutes. So there's no guarantee that you are going to get it, at least the way that it's sounding like, at least from the TWAB.
Yeah. And as they stated here, and to quote them, our goal is to help those who don't normally play Crucible to take a step into the action. I can kind of see where they're going, but there are some people like myself who are not big PvP players.
The only upside of having Iron Banner for next week is that working for your Thorn is going to be a lot easier. Because you get more points per, or percentage, I'm sorry, for each kill via Void, Hand Cannon, or ability.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't think they'd be releasing Iron Banner this quickly, or I might have waited to get my Thorn.
It's an interesting tactic, but I mean, everyone was actually surprised that Iron Banner just didn't drop last week when Thorn dropped.
Yeah, I thought it was going to as well. After that, we also have another consumable called the Iron Burden. This is for the best, to quote them verbatim, this the Iron Berm consumables for the best of the best to challenge themselves by lowering their power by 100. So say you're 700, you'll be put down at 600. Putting more focus on skill, strategy, and gunplay. But with a greater risk comes a greater reward, as they put it. Because there will be an achievement for a Iron Banner Pinnacle-esque weapon.
Yes, it's a fusion rifle.
Kind of wish it was something else, but...
Yeah, but it'll go good with if you're still working on your loaded question from last season. As well as, depending on what kind of burn it is, it might help you with your thorn, too, if it's a void.
The Wizened... It's an updated version of the Wizened Rebuke. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Let's find out, shall we? Just so y'all know, we don't script these ahead of time. If you can't tell.
We are reading it as we're doing this right now.
It's Arc.
Okay, so it's not going to help with Thorn. But it's still something to work for. And I mean, you also have to get 500 opponent kills while using Iron Burden.
Yeah.
But the only issue I have is that you can go in there right now at 500 and still be able to win. So I'm not really sure what it's really going to do unless it actually really affects you.
Yeah. I mean, it'll lower the damage you'll be doing.
Yeah, but I don't believe the damage is enough that it's at this point, unless it's a better damage reduction.
Fair enough. It'll be buffed by using 5 Iron Banner tokens. That's one thing I'm not too happy about. I would have said you buy it with Glimmer, being, for instance, I always have Max Glimmer.
I don't know who doesn't have Max Glimmer. There's no way of there's not enough farms in the game to be able to do Max Glimmer. I can see why they're doing it. It's more so where not just buying everything or bringing in and getting more packages. So it's...
Yeah, but for someone who's going to be farming heavily like myself for the armor, which I'll get to that in just a moment, I'm looking at it more like I'd rather use the packages to buy the the tokens to buy the packages, so I could get a full set of the Iron Banner armor just for my collection.
No, and that's a good idea. I mean, it would almost be better off if it was a way of being part of the bounties or just random after winning a match. Because technically, other than buying it, there is no other way of getting it. So you have to buy them.
Yep. Oh, and also there will be double Valor next week. Next week. Going from 10 a.m. Pacific time on March the 26th to 10 a.m. Pacific time April 2nd.
Well, it's going to run the whole week that Iron Banner's on.
Yes.
Which is good. It'll make working your way towards your rank a little bit better. Give you something to work for.
I can agree. They've also updated our rewards for this season's Iron Banner. And I gotta say, I'm looking at the armor just rotating, and the armor actually looks pretty good this season.
Yeah, I definitely like how it is. It's not too flashy, and it's not too out of its way. It's not samurai like it was last time. Seems like it's a little more staying with inside Iron Banner and how maybe their items will look updated almost.
Yeah. I mean, for instance, as a Hunter main, I'm actually enjoying the Hunter's cape a lot better how it looks this season compared to the cape we got last season.
Yes. And I do like the color scheme, so hopefully we get enough of the of those to be able to actually color our armor if we want to.
What I'm looking at is that if we get duplicates, we could just scrap one of them and you'll get the shader that way.
And that works too.
But I will say that the armor looks really nice. The shaders look good.
Yes.
Other stuff that's coming with the bounties are being updated. Bounties have been to quote them again, bounties have been updated to provide more choice and address feedback from previous seasons over how long it took to earn progress towards various objectives. If they're decreasing the amount of grinding especially for us non-PvP players, I can actually respect that.
I just hope they don't nerf it down to where it only takes me an hour or two to get it all done, though. I'm not a PvP. I'm not a PvP person. Never have been most of the time. Maybe back in D1, but the whole other story on that end. But it'll be interesting to see because I mean they had already updated them. Was it last season or the season before already?
I believe it was the season before.
So I'm not sure how much more they can do because everything got halved at that point. So I mean, I'd almost rather have new bounties in general instead of having revamped bounties.
That might be a better option. I mean, I don't want it to be to where everyone can get everything done day one, the whole list, except for, of course, the grindy PvP players.
Well, you know, those people have it done in like 14 minutes, so that's just how life works. Yeah. They get their super 3 times in 5 seconds, and yeah, let's just not even go there.
He will also offer a new emblem you can pick up after completing all of the weekly bounties this week, which is nice. Basically what it will do is you will be able to tell how many opponents you've killed, while under the effects of the Iron Burden. And then oh, yes?
No, go ahead.
No, you first.
Oh, no, it was just more of... I was just reading something. You're good. I lost it already.
Also, we'll be getting an updated version of the Ore Wings Maul, with random rolls that drop from match completions and from token packages. I'm not entirely sure if that's a grenade launcher or a fusion rifle, because there are 2 weapons in the picture.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head which one the Maul is. I'm almost thinking it's the fusion rifle. I mean, the grenade launcher, if I remember correctly, but again, I'm not a big person when it comes to those guns, because they don't always seem like they have the best perks because they're random. I'd almost rather there be... I'm hoping they're also going to be part of the loot pool that have a curated role that you can pick up with the bounty.
Hopefully, but that we won't find out till next Tuesday.
No.
And now the main reason I brought Drifter on for this video. The devs are discussing how enhancement cores are being changed. To quote the dev team, the goal of the infusion system is to create an impactful feeling of progression when you increase the power of an item you enjoy using. An infusion system with no scarcity around the materials would diminish this impact. To that end, we tap into a material with inherent scarceness, enhancement cores, to use as one of the keystone materials for this process. I'm going to stop right there. I do not agree with this, like I said in the first video we put out. I don't agree with this for the fact of, if you want to masterwork an item, what were those numbers you said that you and that other guy were talking about, Drifter?
So, when it comes to... This is just masterworking. We're not even talking about infusion. We're not talking about leveling a character up or working on other characters. Just to work on your infusion, each armor piece takes 9 cores, a total of 45 for 5 pieces. and each weapon is a total of 17, which means three weapons cost you 51 enhancement cores. So the full amount is 96 enhancement cores to do a fully masterwork build for 8 items.
And I'm sorry, if you want to be able to masterwork an item, then don't have enhancement cores, which are scarce as it is. I don't mind that I have to grind for enhancement cores. Don't get me wrong. But if I have to decide, do I want to masterwork this, or do I want to infuse my favorite gun up to max level? Yes, the choice is a difficult one. I get why they're doing it, kinda, but
I don't.
It's to give players more. You have to decide. I can kind of get that, but I don't agree with it.
No, because technically the issue that I fall into, well, the issue that I know they're doing it for, is they don't want you to use your old guns in new content. They want you to get new guns. And that's understandable.
That too. Which, I mean, they are doing a good job with the new guns that they brought out. Like, I usually don't like scout rifles. I've fallen in love with the Gambit Prime scout rifle.
But my issue is that, let's say, for instance, you run, I run Top Tree Golden Gun. So I'm a 6-shooter who has throwing knives, who gets my super back a little bit faster, and I also get multiple shots the more kills I get. The problem is that I work my armor around that. And then all of a sudden, you give me a new piece of armor, and I have to go, do I want to lose my ability to use my skills perfectly, or do I want to have a higher light level?
Exactly. I agree on that. I mean, for instance, well, yes, if I'm running my Orpheus rigs on my Top Tree Night Stalker, I can usually get my super back pretty quickly, but the initial buildup of the super is what I build my entire thing around.
But then you get a new pair of boots that are, let's say, 675, and you're only at 650. And you only have 1 enhancement core, and you need 3 to level up an exotic. What do you do?
Unless you're using another exotic, then it goes down to 2.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is my issue. I mean, I could say if it only costs 1 enhancement core, maybe I won't complain as much. But it requires 2 to 3 every time. If you're, for instance, unless you're infusing a legendary with an exotic, then it doesn't cost any.
Yes.
But
it's very rare that you are in that situation that you can use no enhancement cores. And the only other one you have is that if you get a drop of the same item, it's only Glimmer. But again, that's still very rare. How often are you going to get Orpheus rigs, let's say, 6 times while leveling up between 650 and 700?
Very rare.
You're lucky you're going to get 1, maybe, if you're lucky.
Yeah. I mean,
so
when it comes to stuff like this, I mean, yes, when it comes to enhancing, like if I get a weapon that I've had before, an exotic I've had before, and that's my highest light, say for instance I get in my energy weapon I get a Telesto, which I did yesterday, and I don't like using Telesto. I infuse that into one of my more preferred weapons. But normally we don't do that. We have our builds. I mean, yeah, we can alter them, but there are some parts of them that are staples. And y'all make it so hard for us to get it to where we can still be viable in the content.
The issue is that, and if people don't realize, is that they weren't originally called master enhancement cores. they were originally called masterwork cores
Yep.
because they were made for you to enhance your masterworking. And there, I had no problem with that because to tell you the truth, I don't have a single item that's masterworked unless I've gotten it masterworked because I don't have the cores to do it. So in that sense, that's where it's hard. And they changed it because they didn't want people to go, well, I'm not masterworking, I'm infusing. But it still doesn't make any sense. It doesn't work. It takes away from, again, like you said, how you play, what you do, and how you want to play.
Yeah. Now, they are giving us more ways this season to get master or enhancement cores. Besides, of course, going to Spider, which isn't always the best option due to the fact of enhancement cores cost legendary shards.
Well, and the only other option you have with Spider is doing the other bounties, the bottom tree bounties.
Yeah.
Bottom row bounties, I mean, that have the wanted. They guarantee you one. And technically, buying them from him, but each one you buy, each time it gets more expensive.
Yeah. And with those bounties, I mean, yes, how you buy them is different than most. I don't get why you have to give him ghost shells. I would have preferred, again, just use Glimmer like every other bounty in the game. But he wants a material that makes you have to go farm the Tangled Shore.
Yep.
I don't know about you, boss, but with me, I'm not that big a fan of, running around the Tangled Shore.
I mean, okay, if I'm gonna be honest, I'd rather run around Tangled Shore than Mercury, but hey, that's just because Mercury is interesting.
I agree. Mercury is so small.
But that's the issue, though, is that there's always a farming loop that you have to run. Again, I come from D1. I come from having to legitly farm materials and spending 2, 3, 4 hours a day going through the loops of the EDZ and everything. I understand that. And that's
you mean
fine.
The Cosmodrome?
Oh yeah, the Cosmodrome. Sorry, yeah, it's been a long time since I played D1. So, I mean, and that's the thing. It's a loop of farming so that you can get more stuff. But I'll let you talk about the next part.
Well, I was gonna say I'm also from D1. I came in during the Taken King. Only expansion I really got to play was the Taken King. Being I only had a PS3, but I understand where you're coming from. The farming was real, but it made sense. But when it comes to enhancement cores, it's a little bit with the choice between either masterworking or enhancing or infusing. It sometimes is difficult, to say the least.
Yes.
Alright, on to the next part. They are getting rid of the scrapper bounties that we get from dismantling items.
And I mean, and that's an interesting choice, only because of what they're doing next, though.
Yeah, because during Season of Opulence, or Penumbra as we've been calling it, they are bringing in a new vendor. If I can find it. I'm scrolling through the 12 as we speak.
I thought they were using Banshee.
Oh yeah, that's right. Found it. Right as you say that. Yeah, Banshee finally is going to have a use again. Because I don't know about y'all, but I have over 1,000 weapon components or whatever just sitting in my inventory because why am I going to want to use non-random rolled year 1 weapons?
No, I mean, I think I have 3 stacks of 999 in my vault right now.
I had to get. I used to have a lot more, but on another character of mine, my Titan I've been working on, I kind of did throw some into him just to get a decent weapon.
And that's where it works. But so he's gonna bring in new bounties, though, correct?
Yes. He'll be bringing in... You'll buy them with gunsmith materials. He'll have a few dailies, and then he'll have a weekly every week. So that should be interesting how they do it.
But the issue is that if it's only going to be one enhancement core, I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, I mean, it will count towards Ikora at the very least.
Yes, that's true.
Because it says, as with the scrapper bounties, each of these will include, among other things, it does specify an enhancement core as a reward.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're going to get other items other than just an enhancement core. But the problem is that his dailies are going to have to guarantee you an enhancement core, and your weekly is going to have to guarantee you 5 to 10, in my mind, for that to be worth it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is interesting what they're trying to do, and I appreciate that greatly. They're not doing like they have done in the past, where they haven't listened to us. It shows they are trying to listen to us, while still keeping their,
Well, I mean, I think they're listening, but I feel like they're listening in the wrong way. I feel like they're listening in a way that they know people like, let's name it, Dado and Glad and Dr. Broman. Let's name them for a few that knew before Forsaken dropped that they got rid of all of their old weapons. And at that point, when D1 end of year 1 was going on, you were getting, 2 to 3 enhancement cores per weapon.
Yeah.
So a lot of them have between 5,000 to 6,000 enhancement cores.
Then you got people like me who have 3.
Yeah. I have 25, and it's hard. I legitimately scrapped half my vault just to get 10 more.
I mean,
so
I've scrapped my entire vault back when I finally reached 650. I scrapped it all just to try to get, some enhancement cores, but my vault, the only things left in my vault now, the stuff I refuse to scrap due to the fact of, I kind of... no, not the rolls. I'm a collector. There's season exclusive stuff in there. For instance, in my vault, I have last season's Iron Banner armor sitting in there. I have their weapons from last season. Every season I've been a part of, I have I've got the disgusting looking Christmas Dawning, hunter gear.
That Dawning crap was interesting.
The Dawning was still fun though. I liked how they did.
Yes.
But I have that. That's all that's left in my vault. I can't dismantle anything else. No, I can't get it again because they're all random rolls.
Yeah. I don't understand why we went from D2 year 1, where we only needed them for, if I'm doing this correctly, was Masterworks and exotics. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense why we have to wear a piece from each different house, best way to say it, until we hit 700, and then we can be what we want.
Yeah, like for instance, in Gambit Prime, I'm a hunter, I'm a reaper. Well, when I want to go into Gambit Prime and I throw on my reaper gear, I drop 20 power levels right now. But that's because if I want those perks, I have to sacrifice that. And the issue with Gambit Prime is it is level based.
Yes.
So I mean, well, yes, I'm still making that grind to 700. I'm at 690 right now as my max. But when it comes to some of these things, it's more No, I. It's difficult to keep with the trying to do what I want to do and what I have to do.
Yeah.
Well, this video's
It's
gone
an
on a little bit
it's
longer
a
than I wanted, y'all. I wasn't expecting to have a
yeah.
30-minute recording. Tell us what your thoughts are on the TWAB this week, and what do y'all think should happen with the enhancement course? Any final words from you, boss?
No, just enjoy, have fun, and let's see what the next season brings us.
And I want to thank Drifter for stopping in for this video. If y'all want, I'm going to leave a link to the Discord that he runs in the description. This way y'all can maybe come and hang out with us. We got people from all 3 platforms playing. So
Sounds like a plan.
please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that little bell. And as always, Guardians, eyes up.